Hello everyone, today I will summarize a movie called World Inside the Earth. I invite you to enjoy the movie and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to help motivate me to create more videos. Thank you.
Two men slept for 53 years and didn't die, and they woke up. They discovered that all the male animals had become extinct, leaving only the female ones. What happened? Let's find out by watching the rest of the movie together. In a future world, advanced science and technology have made a great leap forward. Scientists have developed cryogenics technology, which can prolong human life by putting a person in cryogenic sleep. The ability for cell growth and development in the body can instantly cease, enabling the temporary halt of aging and reproduction. Even patients with incurable diseases can be put into cryogenic sleep until breakthrough advancements in medical technology are developed. So does that mean all diseases can be cured? To verify its effectiveness, a wheelchair-bound doctor has selected two scientists, Albert and Maximilian, to participate in this technology experiment. They have entered the cryogenic chamber and have completed the 3-year cryogenic sleep experiment successfully. The whole nation watched eagerly on television as the historic moment was being broadcasted by journalists. However, Maximilian's wife was extremely angry because Maximilian had left his family behind for an impractical experiment. Time passed, and Albert successfully woke up from cryogenic sleep to check the changes that had occurred in the bodies of both individuals. The scientists locked both individuals in the laboratory again, and in the experimental room, a team of beautiful tall females came to deliver food to them, one of whom caught Ian's attention. Bad, he thought it as he watched. But when I put the food in my mouth, I discovered something not only weird in shape, but also extremely difficult to swallow and taste. Both are so hard to understand. How could they have slept for 3 whole years, and yet have lost their sense of taste? Maximilian retrieved the hidden cigarettes from that year to help sober up, but unexpectedly monitored by the Lamia girl, who immediately called for firefighting, making Maximilian very confused. Finally, they met Lamia and asked her why she had been treating them so strangely, and requested to meet the wheelchair-bound doctor. Who would have thought there are no f***s in this place? There is only one manager who arrived late. Maximilian, wondering why since waking up until now, they have not seen any men. It turns out that during their sleep, a war broke out and someone developed a drug that made all men extinct. Only the surviving women established a country. Heard to this point, Albert and Maximilian did not believe it was true. I think it's an illusion when experiencing the deep sleep process. The wheelchair-bound doctor has said, therefore, he wants to pull Albert and escape from here together. But the door was equipped with electricity, which prevented them from being able to pry it open. Do people believe that they had slept for 53 years? Hearing this, Albert felt extremely desperate. However, on the contrary, Maximilian remains optimistic despite the current situation. He does not believe that humans can reproduce without a certain man. There must be some secret that they still do undiscovered. In order to escape from this situation, Maximilian took advantage of Lamia's inattention and forcibly kissed her to seduce her, because he knew that for someone who had not had contact with men like her, she could not resist this attraction. I did not expect Lamia to have such power that with just one move, she could knock him down to the floor. But when she stepped out of the room, the Lamia's body was as soft and wobbly as noodles, an experience she had never had before. Tomorrow, Lamia will lead someone to change their clothes, and then take them to the plant research room. Maximilian saw a group consisting only of little girls and immediately asked their father where they were from. The girls didn't know what a father was and immediately hugged Maximilian. This made the manager angry. Immediately order the children to leave, Maximilian said as he looked at the pied, original animal fur that had now become a standard in his heart, and couldn't help feeling a sense of sorrow. They stopped at an apple tree because they were so hungry, but Maximilian had already eaten it. Lamia leads 2 persons to meet the queen. The queen hears that there are still 2 men in the world, and, seeing how gentle and kind the queen is, Maximilian approaches her. Maximilian's vulgar language made the queen slightly frightened, causing several beautiful women to rush in and prevent him from. The queen points to the apple tree behind and says that back then, when Adam and Eve secretly ate the forbidden apple, they were cast into the endless abyss of hell. Immediately she ordered, lock up Maximilian and Albert, causing Maximilian to fail completely. On the other side, Lamia is feeling strange. Unlike anything she has ever experienced before since she met Maximilian, she thought she was sick and took medication, but it didn't help. On the other side, Lamia is feeling strange. Unlike anything she has ever experienced before since she met Maximilian, she thought she was sick and took medication, but it didn't help. She said if she were young again, she would definitely confess her feelings to them, but just as Lamia was considering whether to confess her feelings or not, they ran into an unexpected problem. Maximilian waited until no one was paying attention, cut the power cord, causing the entire base to lose power. The laboratory managed to temporarily escape the situation of being detained. Maximilian hurriedly fled, but because they were not familiar with the terrain, they were captured and brought back. Their actions angered the queen, and in order to force them to adapt to this place, the judge decided to perform a gender transformation surgery on both of them. Maximilian used his charming looks to kiss the lady guarding the door outside, causing her to faint on the spot. The two of them then escaped easily. Luckily, they found their way through a drainage pipe and arrived at another location within the base, which resembled an underground bar. But soon, news of the two escapees spread throughout the base. They used advanced science to pinpoint Maximilian's whereabouts. A group of female special forces in the slums captured Maximilian and Albert, but both were quick-witted and managed to escape. Surprisingly, Lamia was waiting for them in the elevator. She led them to the highest point in the base. She said that Maximilian used a telescope to observe the Earth, but the result was just a devastated land. Nuclear war had caused heavy radiation contamination on the Earth's surface, making it no longer a suitable place for human beings to live. Mask and protective equipment, including a breathing apparatus. However, people can only withstand it for 1 hour, and even if they want to stay on Earth, they cannot survive for more than a day. But Maximilian is determined that he does not want to stay in this demonic place. Lamia advised Maximilian and Albert, but they refused, so she called security to apprehend them and underwent gender reassignment surgery. Immediately protect and rush 2 men to the operating room. However, that is just an excuse. In fact, the queen wants to take advantage of the surgery to remove the precious things from both of them. More frightening, the head nurse Penna is Maximilian's biological daughter. That year, Maximilian's wife hated him to the core, washing her face with tears all day, causing her to collapse and eventually die because of this. Penna also hates Maximilian and wants to make him suffer. Suddenly, the lights in the room went out. Lamia, dressed in surgical uniform, knocked Penna unconscious and helped Maximilian and Albert escape. It turns out that Lamia was awarded an honorary medal by the queen for catching Maximilian. But she had feelings for Maximilian, so she abandoned the medal and ran to save him. The group took the elevator to the highest floor of the base. They wear protective suits to leave the base that was in contact with the surface of Maximilian, and discovered no toxic gases. On the contrary, there was a membrane covering the surface. He used a sharp knife to make a light cut. Suddenly, a bright light flashed. 3 people hurriedly left through the opening, and at this moment, there was no damage to the surface of the Earth. The scene of devastation was created intentionally by someone. They saw a bird flying high in the sky. Maximilian was extremely excited, and he crazily took off his radiation suit and breathed in the fresh air. They continued to explore further ahead. They continued to look, and saw a luxurious and immaculate villa. The villa was decorated extravagantly, as if someone was living there. 3 people immediately celebrated with a feast, and it was also the first time Lamia had experienced the true joy and beauty of life. The security of the base chased, because the number of anti-radiation uniforms was limited. Only 1 person was sent. Only then she discovered the desolate scene of wreckage and ruin was caused by someone's deception. She followed the last clue and finally arrived at the mansion. She was about to capture the 3 people. The oxygen supply ran out and she passed out. She is about to pass away, so Albert quickly took off her mask and hugged her into the room to perform artificial respiration. The first time encountering a man, the female bodyguard could not resist his charm. Without hesitation, she decides to stay with Albert. Until one day, the queen appeared in the villa. At this moment, they realized there was a problem. Maximilian quickly restrained the queen, but to their surprise, the queen was actually a man pretending to be a woman. Everything has been revealed now, and the man is finally telling the whole story. He was only 14 years old at the time when all of the men were infected with the complete and deadly strain, and he was the only lucky one to survive. To protect him, his mother disguised him as a girl. Little did she know that he would later become successful as a queen, managing everything. When observing him, he gradually realized that the toxic gas on Earth had already disappeared, and humans could live on the ground again, because I do not want my queenly position to be shaken. He turned the exit of the base into an apocalyptic scene. But Maximilian believed that there are not only women in this world, and he succeeded in persuading the queen. With the help of Mr. Maximilian and Albert, they successfully gained access to the neonatal laboratory in the base. They placed their male genes into the IVF tube, and later on, a group of male babies were born. The world gradually returns to its original state. The movie has ended now. The movie is called Seksmisja. I have a question. If you were the only man in the world, what would be the first thing you would do? Please leave your answer in the comments.